Hello everyone, this is Jean. Okay, I'm coming with a Christmas in July project. I thought I'd do at least one, but this one I've been working on, it's been about 8 months. I've been trying to design this one and get it to come out right and everything else. Okay, so I wanted to do an advent calendar, but I didn't want to do the same one that's out there. So I've worked on this one. I think it turned out really nice. So here, this is my prototype. So this is my prototype one. So it's like a combination shadow box and the advent calendar. So it's got these little drawers in, and they're enough to get some kisses in, a little piece of candy. Your advent calendar isn't for much. But if you want to give them a gift, all you have to do is put a little note inside, and it leads them to a wrapped gift, and then you can give them a wrapped gift instead. So you can do things like that. You can have candy in it, money in it, or put a little note in it for some wrapped gift, so if you want to give something that doesn't fit in here. So there's a lot of things you can do. But this one lights up. Try to do it without looking. So this one lights up. It's got two different, I searched for timer lights because I like things to be set on a timer. So I searched for timer lights. We got this. This one just has, I just put a little artificial tree in and some polyfill for the snow, and it's a piece of cardstock on the back. So now we are going to work on one. I have it somewhat started because you don't want to sit here and watch me do 24 boxes. So I'm going to show you, we're going to make 2 boxes together. I'm going to show you how to put together, put the lights on one, and kind of decorate it. So this could be a long video if we did 24. And this one here, I just punched the pockets, the little boxes I mean. And to do that, you don't want to do it after you already fold your box up. Let me balance it there. So the little box is going to go like this. It's going to fold in like this. So before you do that, now I don't want to punch on, there's a certain end you want to punch on. You want to punch on the end that doesn't fold in like that. Otherwise, you're going through like 3 or 4 layers. So I'm punching in on just this opposite end. And it really, really doesn't matter. But you want to do it right now. So you want to punch before you assemble your box. I just put a hole punch in there. Kind of, even up where you want it. And just punch it. And then all you're going to do, that's a little longer than I wanted, but then you can just glue that back down, and then you can put your box in. That was a really bad punch, guys. But that's when you want to punch. Now this is the one we're going to finish up. This one is just beads. I just glued a bead on, and just super glued. So I like the gel control, and I just put a little dot on there, and they hold really well. So these are just a little bead I got from Michael's. And then I have another sample at the end I will show you. Okay, so let's put the boxes together, and we'll go over at the end. I'll do the differences on all 3 of them. I cut everything else, but we're going to do some scoring. So I did cut everything out, or we could be here forever. So we're going to start with the box first. The box is a 4.5-inch square. Okay, that's all you need is a 4.5-inch square. Okay, so we're gonna score at a 1/2 inch, 1.5, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's where we're gonna score. So we're gonna score at a 1/2 inch. Then we're gonna score at 1.5, 3. Let me tell you, I had a lot of samples, a lot of mess, but it made the boxes too big, then it would make that too big. Oh, it was a lot of fun. So they're just going to give it 1 turn. And then we're going to score the same things. 1/2 inch, 1.5, 3. And you may ask, why are you doing an advent calendar in July? It's not Christmas. Well, as all crafters know, we start crafting in July, June, the day after Christmas. And it doesn't take a lot of time to make, but it does take a little bit more time than just making a card. So it gives you plenty of time to make it and get it ready for Christmas. Okay, let's do the other box right away, 4.5-inch square, and then we'll score the same thing. So you got a couple kids you want to make it for. This gives you plenty of time to make them. Like I said, they're not difficult. I made it as easy as possible for every but one. And like I said, I went through a bunch of designs and finally came up with this one, and I hope you guys like it. Okay, so let's put that, grab my scissors. To take my big scissors, but that's okay. So now anywhere you see the X's, these lines here, we're going to cut up. And then the X's we're going to get rid of, okay? So we'll leave that here, but I'll show you. So like the first we're going to get rid of, there's the bigger one and the little one. We're going to start with that. I'm going to take it slow. Normally I could cut everything at once, but we're going to take it slow. So we're going to cut these away, this one away, and the opposite side. We're going to cut those away right now. We don't need them, get rid of them. And I'm getting rid of the score line with it. Okay, now flip it to the opposite side. Do the same thing. Now normally I would do my wedges and everything right away, but I'm taking it step by step for you guys. And you can take your shortcuts on your own. Okay, so we have this so far. So that was these ones here. Now we're going to get rid of this one, which is right here. So we're going to get rid of the 4 of those. Take those totally out. I'll take out as much as we don't need here. I almost gave up on this project, guys. I was like, okay, what am I going to make? Like, you know, I didn't want to get the typical shape out there. A lot of people did them Christmas trees and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to really like do the same thing. It's been out there. Okay, now you have that. You can see what we have. Now these lines here, all we're going to do is cut up past the score line to this score line. To the basically, it's the last score line that goes that way. So we're going to do that here, 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 and here. Do that again on this one. Okay, so now we're going to take out some wedges here. So we don't need so much bulk. So we're just going to angle cut there. We're going to angle cut on all 4 of them. Doesn't matter. Don't be perfect. Just take a snip off. If one side's bigger, one side's smaller, we don't care. Okay, so now we got that. So we turn these ones that we cut up. So these ones that are, we're going to angle cut those too. Make it a little easier on us. We don't need that much bulk either there. Those are going to get folded in. Okay, that's our box. And we're going to do one more. If we can follow along on one more. I want to make sure you guys get this. Is very simple. Okay, so we already scored this one. I'll keep this up here. So again, all we're going to do is get these 2 from every corner. The long one and the short one from every corner. We want to make sure, you know, just hold it this way. So we want to make sure we get in opposites. Or you'll have a funky looking box. Trust me. I screwed up a few times. That's a frustrating thing when I make things. Oh my God, I go through so much paper. I use a really cheap, it's kind of like a heavy cardstock from Walmart, or a heavy printer paper from Walmart. And I will use that for all my samples. Okay, so now we have that again. And now we want those 4. Get rid of those 4. Those 4. Like I said, what I did is like while I'm watching TV or whatever, I cut out all my squares, 24 squares, and then I scored them all, and then I cut them all, and then I assembled them all. I did like a little assembly line. Okay, now we hold it this way, and we're going to cut up the lines. It wouldn't matter if you cut it this way, just make sure it's consistent. So do the same front and back, or this way, okay, across from each other. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. Just going to score that line up, or cut that line up. Okay, got that again. So now what we're going to do, all our angle cutting. So we're going to angle cut. I'll start with just these 4 tabs that are sticking out. I'll start that way. Okay, now we've got these ones, we're going to angle cut those. And I am using 110 pound cardstock from Michaels. You want it a little sturdier. And Michaels paper, you know, is really quite cheap, especially if you wait for a sale on it. Okay, now we got that. We have our 2. Get that out of there. We can take that away. We'll leave just here and work on here because I need to bring it for the outside of the box. So we got, this is going to be like the inside of the box. And then we'll have like the outside. Okay, now again, if you're just going to do, let me get a box out. If you're just going to use, you want to take out just for the pull, just take a pull out. This is where you do it. And not on this side. You're going to do it on this side. And you'll just fold that over first. Or, no, I did the wrong side. Not this way. You want this one. It wouldn't matter if you did it that way. You're just cutting out extra pieces and then do it there. But we have other things for this one. So now I just go and fold all my score lines. Don't have to be, you know, you don't have to worry about like, flattening them out, all that stuff. Just bend them in. No big deal. Okay, so now you have your 2 tabs like this. So I'm going to turn it this way. These 2 tabs are going to go in like this. So they're going to go in, and they're going to glue to here. So we're going to glue these tabs in, just like a box. Just like a box if you've ever done a box. So put some glue on here. If the glue wants to come out. Why does it always do this to me? Because I forgot to check my glue before I started working with you guys. Okay. This glue is about empty. Just make sure they're even. And then we're going to go to the other side. And then I'm just going to put glue on because I'm going to glue them both together because it'll be easier. So I'm just going to tuck it in and line that up on the edges and then line that one up on the edges. That one slid on me. And I go in. Push that back. My glue is, this one is a little watery. So it is, here's my rag. Okay, then there's that. This one's just gonna be stubborn and not work. And here we go. Get rid of this bottle. Like for good. All right, so now all we're gonna do is fold in these tabs and glue them down too. Okay, and I'm just gonna put some clips on while we're working on the other one. Usually it sticks really fast, but that other... Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. Just gonna fold everything in. So we're just making little boxes. Tiny little boxes. Bring this one in. You don't need a lot of glue, because if you use too much glue, then it will take forever. Art glitter glue and barely art glue grab pretty quickly. Woo. I love Christmas. You know, even though, you know, we don't really have no little kids in our family anymore. Not too many. We have really just my grandnephew, and he's, I think he's about 13 now, so 12, 13. Okay. Okay, make sure everything's down good. Okay, now let's go fold in all your flaps. I'm gonna say it's the humidity. Where'd my rag go? Okay. Now we have to make the outside of the box, or like the drawer, whatever you want to call it. Cap you back up. Okay. Now, get my hands all my glue off. Okay, these ones I already kind of pre-scored because I wasn't thinking and I started scoring them, but we'll go over the scoring again. Okay, so these are 6.5 by 3. This will be the wrap that goes around to make the drawer. Okay, and we're gonna score it, put it this way. So we're gonna score at 1 3/8. Score at 1 3/8. Sorry, I had to do some 3/8. I tried my best. 2 3/8, 4 inches, and 5 inches. Okay, then we're gonna just turn it, and we're gonna score 1.5 and 2.5. So score 1.5 and 2.5. Okay, and I have both of them done. So I will take the scoreboard away. All right. So now these are really easy to cut. So all you're gonna do is cut these. There's 4 squares on each end, and we're just gonna leave these 2 middle ones. So these are easy to cut. So I'm gonna cut away this one, this one, this one, and this one. Take the score line with you. We don't need that. Okay, then we do this one. All right, we have that. Same thing, I'm gonna fold it. Okay, now one side is a little bit longer than the other one. Don't ask me why. So all I do is just lay my box in there, and I bring the longer one's gonna go right to the end. You can see it go right to the end. And I don't glue this ahead of time just because every box might be a little different when you make it. So you can adjust it if it's too tight or not. So this one usually can go right to the edge. Then I take this one and just kind of, not real tight, I just kind of lay it across there. and kind of get it even, lay it across there, and see if that's what you like. Now what I don't do is I don't run glue too close to the score line, because if you don't put your box all the way, it'll get on the box and you glue your box down. So we want to make sure we don't get none on that box. So I just kind of like, here's the score line here. Here's the score line. I just kind of start right about here. And run some glue. And then I'm just going to bring it over and just make it sure it's evened. I don't worry about pulling it tight or anything like that. Then I'll bring the box out and then flatten it down. Okay, and then, yeah, we forgot to angle our tab again. So you want to angle the tab too on that one. It just fits in there a little better. And put that on the inside. And we're just going to make sure it's even. Grab my rag here. Some of this glue off my hands. Get more glue on myself. You know how that goes. Okay, then I just kind of flatten it down here. Okay, and then the box just goes in. And we're going to put a little knobber on it. So then I always kind of like put it in, see what side I like better. Now that side I got a little glue on, so I don't really like that side. So I just keep turning it around till I, you know, like whatever side I like best. We're going to stick with that side. Okay, let's make the other one. Now we already scored this one. We're going to cut those, turn it the right way. We're going to cut those 4 off on each side there. I'll put this other one up just in case anyone wants to take any kind of screenshots while I'm cutting. I know this one's kind of a little messy looking. That's like anywhere where you see a black line is where we're cutting, but these are just straight cuts, remember? X's we get rid of. And same on this one. This is a straight cut, X's we get rid of. And then here's your scores, if anyone wants to take a screenshot of that. Okay, so we have the same thing. We're going to just angle cut. And then I'm going to fold that in. And we're going to do the same thing. Our little box should be good. All right. Put in. Just make sure it's kind of nice and squared and on there. On the side. Get it in there. On the side and everything. Doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see they'll line up really nice yet. And then I just kind of see where I'm going to like it. That's going to be good. Push that in a little bit. And then we're going to get some glue down here. And we're going to put that up. Take it out again so that I can get a better grip on it. And then make sure there's no glue on the inside, because you'll glue your box down. How do I know? Just ask me. I know. Okay. All right. Just lay it down and flatten it all down. I'm gonna blame the humidity. Okay, should be good. I'm just gonna bring it around and see what side I like best. Okay, put my boxes down, get some of this mess out of here. Get our pin back in our glue. All right. Now what we do, before I put them in it, grab 2 beads. Okay, so these are the little beads I'm using. I got them from Michael's. They're on a strand. There's 4 different sizes on the strand, so there's 4 strings. So I think this is like the second smallest, or the second biggest, I think it is. So, and they're regular glass beads. So you can measure if you want to bring a ruler across, you know. I just eyeball. Let me make sure this is open. Okay, and I'm just gonna eyeball middle here. Put a little dab down. And sometimes you really gotta turn them to get them going. There you go. And you just need a really tiny dot of this. And I put the whole side down. So usually if you lay it down, it'll go right whole side down. And just set that right. These hold really, really well with this super glue. Okay, we're gonna push that off to the side. You can do all these at the end if you want. But I'm just gonna do them now and get them over with. Just don't glue your fingers. Okay, now we can get rid of that. It's actually Loctite super glue. Gel control is, I do not like the liquid. The gel control works really, really well because it doesn't run and it doesn't really absorb into your paper either. So it's really, really nice to use. Okay, now we're gonna put these in. How I did this is I glued 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I glued them side by side together. 7 down that way. Okay, then I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we went 7 across, 7 up, and 7 down again. Gives us what we need, okay? So we're just going to tuck these ones in here right now. We're going to go ahead and glue them down. So I'm just going to glue. Oop. Oh, to get that off of there, I'm going to glue my box shut there. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up. Hold it for a second. Doesn't take much. Okay, now this last box, we want to make sure we do both sides. So we're doing these sides here. And I try to keep this down. We're going to be kind of covering that up anyways. But I just kind of keep it down. So let's just run some glue. On both sides now, because we're going to glue the whole thing together. All right. We're just going to kind of hold it for a minute. Gonna push from the outside, help hold it. This is the only problem. I'll give you a little tip what I did though. Okay, so when we get down to it, I kind of pushed it against my desk, the wall or whatever. Pushed it in hard, and then I had set, what do I have down here? I'll just use my cup. And I had pushed this against it to help hold it all tight against the wall. Because, like, you know, I'm not going to sit here all day. So that worked really well. After I got it kind of all together there. Put the cap back in my glue while I'm waiting here. And hopefully... I know this one's going to be a little bit more rushed, so because we want it to do it on camera. Next thing, I'll like that one already. Needs a little bit of glue down in there. I told you, I think I'm fighting the humidity today. Something is going on today that my glue is struggling. Okay. I mean, all we've gotten is heat this summer. For Wisconsin, not to get no rain. We hardly got any rain. And when it does rain, it's like this little 5-minute little thing. I feel like I'm in Florida when they get this little downpour and that's it for the day. All right, so next thing I did is I put chipboard around here. You didn't really have to, once you put the backing on, you didn't really have to. I did it to cover up the lines. You can just take and just put paper in there though, if you want. But like, I'm giving one as a gift, so I want to make it really, really sturdy. So for the chipboard, whatever chipboard you have on hand, and my ruler. So for my chipboard pieces, I cut 2 of them at 8 1/4 by, and I think that was, let me check my notes to make sure I get the right size, because we had to, yeah, 1 5/8, that's right. So it's 1 5/8 by 8 1/4. I just want to make sure I didn't redo mine. So 8 1/4 by 1 5/8, and then 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. Then what I did, because you know you don't want to put this on, you know, not so pretty, right? So then what I took, these are 1 1/2. I took 3-inch pieces of paper. So for this one, it's 8 by 3 inches. And all we're going to do, you don't even have to score it. So all I'm going to do is glue one side of the paper down. Nothing fancy here. Okay. And then I'm just going to put my cardstock. And I'll just put it and make sure it's to the edge. Let's make sure it says, see, I'm just gluing it to one end. Okay. Okay, then all I do is take it and just fold it over. You could score it ahead of time. I'm gonna struggle because of my glue's not dry yet. So let me go ahead and score because mine's not dry yet. We're gonna struggle here a little bit. So we want to score at 1 1/2. Where did my score tool go? It's probably on his desk somewhere. So let's score at 1 1/2. Actually, you can go at 1 and score it. Try to fold it over without struggling with this. Okay. Let's just throw glue down there. Boy, am I like... Nothing wants to work during this taping. And that already is coming out. I'm just gonna put a different tip on. I keep a bunch of tips. I'm just gonna pull that off. And we're gonna try a different tip. And see, it just pops right back on. That's what happens sometimes. All right, so we got that one. Boy, this is a fun video, isn't it, guys? Sheesh, everything goes wrong. Score that one at 1 1/2. Go ahead, and we're gonna put that one in. All right, I don't know what's seriously going on with my glue. Okay, and we're just going to put that one to the edge too. Don't worry about this side. This side's going to be to the front. We didn't care about this side. It's going to be on the back, so you're not going to really see it anyways. Okay. I am seriously... Okay, I'm going to take this art glitter glue, this little bottle I have in here, and hopefully... Hopefully that one won't give us too much trouble. just gonna flatten that all down again. All right, we can get rid of this scoreboard now. Oh my God, this video is gonna be forever because we're having all these difficulties. Okay, so now all I do is take, and we'll put one in here, and I'm not even gonna glue it down right now because we're running out of time. I mean, it's already 40 minutes. How long do you want to watch? Put that bad side, open side to the back. Now you would just glue these all in here, okay? You would just glue them all in here, like that. We're gonna have to glue them down because you want a bit of, okay, we're just gonna glue these down. Just get the bad side to the back. Okay. Okay. It's in there. Alright, so now let me just make sure they're all even to the front. Make them even in the front. You have that. See, now you just don't see, like on the side we still have these lines. And you can just, on the sides if you want, you can just take paper and cover all that up. And then this gives it a little bit more support. And now, we'd put the lights in, which we're not going to be able to put all the lights in, because that'll take us forever. So, I got these off of Amazon, because I wanted a timer. So we're going to put this in the back. I doubled them over. They're pretty long. I doubled them over. And we're going to start with the end. Not the beginning. We don't want to start with the beginning. We're going to start with the end. Find the last bulb. And we are going to, let me see if I can get this up here. This is like the hardest part here. Let's get to the back here. So I am going to, so we would take our glue, we're going to use our hot glue gun, and we're just going to tape them around. But what we're going to do for right now, because our time constraints here, is I'm just going to kind of just quickly run a little bit of Scotch tape around. It's just so you guys can see it, but you'd use your glue gun and just don't glue the ball part, glue the wire down. I'll show you on my other ones I glued them down. But we're just going to quickly tape this. I feel like this video should be redone, but then I'd have to make 24 more boxes because everything went wrong in this one. Someone's telling me not to do Christmas in July. I can tell you. All right, after I get this in here. So you're just going to keep running it around on the back side, right along the edge. And you could just tape it if you want. If you don't want it, you don't got no hot glue gun, you don't want to deal with hot glue gun, a lot of this is really going to be covered up and it's Scotch tape. You really can't see it. I'll show you. And then whatever extra, we're going to keep running around. After I untangle it here. Get this little corner piece in there. We're just going to tape that down. Because you need to put your lights in first before you do your back panel. Okay. All right. My glue bottle here before it spills out on me. So now you have this. Your battery pack is hanging there. Okay, don't worry about that yet. Okay, now on this one, so this is a piece of cardstock. I already cut it down how I need it. any cardstock will do. It doesn't have to have a seam. It can just be whatever, you know. So I'm going to hold this back there, kind of where I want it. Try as even as I can get it. Just get the seam in there the way you want it. That looks pretty good. Then I'm going to flip it. And my battery pack, pull that up. Kind of flip it, and then I'll tape it down. Just bring that. Just going to tape it, and I'll look at it to make sure I didn't move it too much. Okay, let me bring it back over and see. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, cover all that up is you have a piece of chipboard that is going to be 11.5 by 7.5. And we are just going to glue that right on top like that. That's going to cover your whole back side. It's going to make everything really sturdy. It's going to be perfect, okay? If we can get enough glue to work. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to have to remove all my tips all the time or something. I don't know why, like if it's the humidity that's going on or what. Just make sure it's even. Just glue right over that wire. You want to glue that wire down. Now normally I would do this. I would take, don't worry, it's strong enough. After you got it under even, I put my ream of paper on it. While we're getting ready for our next step. We have one other thing we have to do, and, well, more than one thing. Okay, while that's finishing drying, we need to make our battery pack cover, our holder, I mean. And I don't have any that blue left, so I'm just using, because you're not going to see the back anyways. I ran out of that blue and I couldn't get any of it. So you need to cut a piece. It's not going to be on the back anyways, no matter. 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. So you want to cut 5 3/4. This will hold your battery pack in place. So 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. I know Jennifer will take care of a lot of that part. She'll bring this video down a little bit where we're fighting with the glue bottles and everything. Okay, so get our score here. And now we're going to score at, trying to get you guys to see what everything, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. So on the 5 3/4 side, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. We're going to score at 1 1/4. Almost did 1 1/8. And we're going to do 4 1/2. And we're going to do 5 1/4. Okay. And then we're going to turn it just slightly. And we're going to score at 3/4, or at 3 3/4. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, at 3/4, I was right. So we're going to score at 3/4. Okay. I changed my notes at the last minute too. Okay. So now if I can remember it, because I left my thing upstairs for this one. Okay, so we're going to get rid of some of this bulk. We do not need, okay, we do not need this little end ones. Don't need those. Get rid of that. On each side, get rid of that one. And then the square next to it on each side, we're just going to cut up. We're going to cut up. That's going to be all folded in anyways. Okay, so you have something like this. Okay, so we're going to fold it in like this, and that little tab we are going to glue to the bottom flap. This little tab we're just going to ignore. We're just going to glue that together. Okay, we're just going to glue that together. That for a minute, hopefully. Okay, And then the same with the other one. That little tab, we're just going to take and glue it to the bottom. That'll just give a little stability down there. Okay, with some of that. Okay, then you have what looks like this. So you have this. There's nothing here, but that don't matter because it's going to be glued against our backing. So we have our little box. Now what we want to do is, I'm going to flip mine. I know it's not dry yet, and we'll worry about that off air. So we're going to flip. I like to keep the battery with the on-off switch up. And then, so you want to see about where that goes. It's going to go right along the side here. So we want to take our little hole punch and punch an opening there. It'll make it a little easier to get in, and I just cut that little points off. It'll make it a little easier to get in and out of turn your battery on and off. Okay, and then I'm going to lay it back down. And then you're going to see where you want it to go. I liked it better when I had an extra light there yet. That's okay. So what I did, this is the way it goes, is I kind of, on the bottom, the long bottom, I just kind of wrapped it back and forth. All this wire, I just wrapped it back and forth like that. And then I just taped it because you don't need that. That's all gonna go in there. Okay, and then so we're gonna glue this down right about there. Just gonna glue it. It's kind of even. I can't see there. We gotta pull that one out, making sure it's square. And then tuck that inside. And I'm gonna have to redo my lights because I left some, but I didn't glue it down yet, so that's good. All right, I have that. I cut mine too long. I'm gonna cut that 2 3/4, guys. I don't know why I cut that 3 because it's too long. So make sure you cut your box at 2 3/4. Don't know what I was doing there. I cut my box too long, but that's okay if you do, because you just pull it out. So I have your little box to hold it on. Okay. So now, it's not dry and everything, but it'll stand up for you. See, it's not. I'm gonna have to go back and do all that. Okay. Now for the numbers, let's put something under here to help balance that a little bit. This one I just did my Cricut and had my Cricut do some numbers. I did half inch on there. And I'm going to put the other two on. Get them up with my pokey tool. And just kind of line them up. I'll show you another way to put. Now you could have decorated the front of your boxes, but we have so much decorated here that I don't think we need that. If you wanted to put Christmas paper on the front of your boxes. Okay, so this isn't a perfect one. I have a perfect one done already for you guys. So then just take some, I just take some regular polyfill. See how much you need to kind of cover the bottom a little bit. I'm not going to glue it down now because I'll take this regular glue I used to put that down. And this one, then I would put a little tree. I have a little tree there I would put. And then I have a couple deer. And then just kind of plop them in there somewhere and glue them down. Kind of by the tree somewhere. I know it's hard to do. Can't glue it down right now. So you have like a little, like this one then. So you can do anything. You can leave it totally plain. You can put whatever you want in it. Okay, let's take this one off aside because I'm gonna show you a pretty one. I hope that all works out and you guys understand everything we did. So again, with my prototype, all I did was punch out the, you can see it's not, I didn't even measure because it was just my prototype. So they're not perfect. You'd want to measure. And this one, because it was my prototype, it didn't stand very good. So I put a piece of chipboard on the bottom because some of my boxes were down lower because I put it together really, really fast. But now see how my box fits in there? Because I made my box too long on that one. It's supposed to be 2 inches, not 2 3/4. So 5 3/4 by 2 inches. Boy, I must have grabbed the wrong notes down here. Okay, so you just make it as tall as whatever battery pack you're using. You know, it doesn't really matter if your battery pack sinks down in there more. It doesn't really matter as long as you can access it. And I just do that. You can just leave your battery pack. You don't even have to put this on. You can just leave your battery pack sit behind here. It doesn't matter. I just do that, but you don't have to do that, okay? And then I put a tree. Okay, so for the good one, this is the better one. So let's see to move this out of the way. So this one I used the little miniature doorknobs or drawer knobs or door pulls or whatever they call them for, like, it's for like doll houses and stuff like that. I super glued them down. The screws they gave me with them were so long. I was like, these are miniatures. Why are you giving me a long screw with them? So I just glued them right down with that super glue. It worked just fine. And I just put 3 trees. And this is just some cardstock that I've had in my stash. And all lit up. So I think, you know, I hope you guys like this. It's a little different take on advent calendars. Stands up. It's like, you know, kind of like a shadow box. You know, it's nice to look at. Even if you don't, you know, do the boxes even, it's still nice to look at. And you can mix up your numbers. Of course, I just kind of put the numbers down. You can mix your boxes up any way you want. You know, that doesn't matter. You can just mix them up or leave them. Doesn't matter, whichever way. So I hope you guys like this, and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If I have to do another video or something on certain parts, I will. I don't know why nothing wanted to work today. It's just, I don't know. I'm going to blame the humidity. I don't know about you guys, but you let me know what's going on. Maybe it's I don't know, the stars are aligned the wrong way, the planets, I don't know what. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and give it a try. Let me know if you give it a try. It's not as hard as it looks. You're just making all the little boxes. You don't even have to put the supports in here if you don't want to. You can just put paper if you don't like to look at, so here I put just paper on the sides. And just all the way around, just to cover up those, like, marks. That one I did too. So, like, if you don't like, let me grab this one. I gotta grab the battery pack back. So if you don't like the look of all those lines, then just run paper across. That's what I did on this one. I just ran paper across just to cover all that up. And then you could decorate the top, like maybe like a bow, a long bow or something like that. But I left it, you know, and they sit up nice. So there's our big Christmas in July project. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I know this was a bad video, but hopefully you guys understand what I was getting at. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.